Yeah,
brand new episode of Trash Talk. I'm here with a very, very special guest. Would you like to introduce yourself?
it's me, Adriel. Hey, hi.
I know, obviously, you're a guest that I've wanted to get on since the beginning. I think I actually messaged you before the first ever episode of Trash Talk came out. You're a guest that
Yeah,
I wanted to get on. So let's start with your most popular video. Obviously, your most popular video, looking at your most recent content, is quite different. Would you like to go over your most popular video for people that aren't maybe familiar with it?
yeah. So my most popular video would be I think it was when I was covering the definitive edition for the trilogy, and
Hmm.
that video actually kind of hurts, despite the fact that it's my most popular video, because at the time when I was making the video, it was just supposed to be like a random filler video. It wasn't supposed to like blow up or anything, which is why it's like 2 minutes. And
Yeah.
then it like instantly like got like thousands of views within like hours, and I regretted it because if I knew it would have blew up that day, I would have been sure to actually like make that video quality
Yeah.
and to like actually add length to it, but I didn't do that. So
Mhm. Well, I guess it's always the videos that like are basically not shit by any means, but just like you don't
right,
put as much effort into as like the other ones. Like my most popular video, at least in like videos, not shorts, took me like 30 minutes to make, and it was just again like a filler video about Nicocard avocado, and it like
right,
took off. So like I think we've all been there for like their most popular videos,
right. But I'm
and
hoping going.
yeah,
Wait, sorry, yeah, didn't mean to cut you off, but I was saying
well,
that
yeah.
yeah,
Hmm.
hopefully going into the future. That's why I've been trying. That's why my upload schedule has slowed because I'm trying
Yeah.
to make sure every upload that I make is like somewhat of decent quality. So then like that slip up isn't made again, where I get a video where like with when I get like thousands of new viewers, and I fear that like
Yeah.
they're getting like a terrible impression of me because they're like seeing a video that is not up to like the normal quality standard. So yeah,
Yeah, exactly. And actually, you've done my job there. You've actually moved me on to like my next topic that I want to talk about,
right.
and it's your most recent video. Obviously, when this goes out, your video would have been out for like a while. But your most recent video is your video on Toad,
Yes.
and obviously, like I said, by the time this video like has gone out, your video would have been out for maybe a few weeks or so. So obviously, without spoiling the video for me, can you just like say who's in the video and like go over the basics of it?
Well, who's in the video? It's gonna be Zeno and Void and I, all three of us in the video, and
Hmm.
essentially, what I'm not sure about the specifics of Void's part, but what is Zeno gonna talk about? I think Zeno covers like how Toad can like sometimes like shill his videos and like other like channels and like Discord servers and whatnot, and how it can kind of get annoying. And then I
Hmm.
kind of just I cover some like briefly, very briefly, like some Twitter stuff. Not me like specifically. Like I don't like verbally mention it. I just show like some screenshots
Hmm.
briefly. And besides that, when it comes to Toad in my part of the video, I just cover like some clips of his from some of his videos that I found kind of dumb, but that's really it, really. I don't talk about like his entire channel or anything like that necessarily.
Well, obviously, you're like the first, at least noble person to mention Toad in like a negative light. Obviously, he's had like
Right.
controversies with Scorpy and other people, and just been a bit of a prick to them. But your
Right.
video is going to be like the first video to really like mark down on Toad, rather than just being a few tweets or something like that.
Yeah.
So, like, in the grand scheme of things, you're the first person to really call out Toad for his shit. And obviously,
Right.
you sort of make like a mark of that. A few of your most recent videos have been like along the lines of like commentary and commentators and stuff like that. Is that
Right.
like a few one-offs, or is that where your channel like is going, or do you just want to like steer away from that?
That is actually a really good question. Um, so I so I'm not sure because prior to I want to say 2 months ago, I kind of wanted to steer away from the entirety of the commentary thing, and I was kind of really considering actually deleting all of my videos and restarting. But
Hmm.
I was like, why not? It's kind of fun to make the videos, and a lot of people who watch my channel, they still want to see that kind of content from me. I did a poll on my channel a few weeks ago, and I think the majority of people
Yeah.
said that they still want me to do commentary. So I think I'll
Hmm.
stick to that. And in terms of the direction I'm going, though I'm still gonna do commentary, I do want to start talking about like more popular, well, how do I explain this? I want to talk about more relevant things, but also more niche topics as well that I can actually go in depth into that a lot of people
Yeah.
haven't talked about. And that's kind of the purpose of me, Zeno, and Void forming like this little group kind of. where
Hmm.
we're essentially able to we're able to pool our resources together, and we're able to push out like quality uploads because we're all decent editors. We're able to push out quality uploads, but in a decent amount of time because we're all working together on it. So we don't have to worry about having an inconsistent upload schedule or anything like that.
Yeah, and with obviously, you've spoken a lot about like fractional and whatever, and
Right.
like, is this going to be like a major thing going forward in your channel, in just everything you do? Is that going to be like a major pushing point? Obviously, your videos were, like we spoke about earlier, like infrequent because you wanted to make them like the best you can like be for like new audiences. But obviously now you've got this help and like these videos can be the best they can. Are we going to be seeing a lot more content?
Yes, definitely. This entire thing with the group has kind of made me rework my schedule and actually make a consistent one. So the
Hmm.
goal is that each week as a group we push out one video. And then for me at least, I'm not sure about the others, but for me, along with that video, I'm gonna like try to like make my own solo filler video as well that I just work on by myself. So
So, for example, let's say obviously you spoke about like niche videos and then like more popularized topics that are maybe
yeah.
trending or whatever.
Yes.
Would you say that like you doing a filler video would be like that trending topic video, and then the one where you work really hard on with like everyone else would be like the niche one where you really take a deep dive into?
Um, Probably, yeah. That probably will happen, but as for that being the case every time, I wouldn't be sure. But yeah, that would probably happen more than likely, yeah.
Yeah. And obviously, we've spoken a lot more about like your content and like upload schedules and all that sort of stuff. But I do want to ask you about your controversies and drama, if you have any at all. Obviously, this
Mhm.
like podcast, I ask everyone about this, and I just really want to know if you've been involved in any sort of drama, or even just like even been in drama like for a little bit, just at all.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't. Well, it's funny looking back at it. It was like it was a joke of if you want to call it drama. I don't really take it seriously anymore. But the
Hmm.
whole I don't even know if you were I don't know if you were aware of me back then, but this was like almost exactly a year ago when I first got into small commentary. It was when I was
Yeah.
making all of those rants on a Max BT show. That's probably the most
Hmm.
prominent like drama or like situation I've ever been in, probably.
Yeah.
And at one point, yeah. So basically, this was when did that happen? This happened like earlier this year, I believe.
Hmm.
I forgot what controversy Max got into to piss people off, but he pissed off a majority of people, and Grimsy got on his ass too at this point. So, Grimsy was making his video on Max and already made like a decent amount of videos on Max at this point. So then Grimsy reaches out to me and he's like, "Hey, can you make a video on Max or whatever to coincide with mine?" And I'm like, "I don't know if I want to make a new video because I just don't feel like it, and I'm kind of over talking about him, but I can make like a
Hmm.
compilation of like every video I've made on him already and just upload that at the same time." And he was like, "Okay, that works." And then I did that, and that's how I ended up making like a 40-minute video on Max when it was just basically like a compilation of all the prior videos I made on him. But
Hmm.
I'm not really proud of that drama really, and I don't really like how that kind of kick-started like my presence in the small commentary community. That's why most of those videos aren't really up anymore. I used to keep them up just to look back, but I'm kind of just completely over it. So, yeah.
Hmm. So, like, I think you're a unique case with obviously a lot of commentators have been like heavily involved with the drama. Obviously, you
Right.
mentioned Matt, who has been literally fucking soaked into it. Like,
Yeah.
you look at everyone, and they've at least made one Max video, because
Right.
he is that controversial. He has been in that much drama. Even myself, I made a video on his friend. Like, everyone's made a video on him or one of his mates.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
there's no joke there. Like, it's just true.
Right.
But you're a rare case where it seems like you haven't been involved in so much drama, where like your whole channel's filled with it, where a lot
Yeah,
of
right.
commentators are. Like obviously Toad, we mentioned, like he's got all that. Like a lot of commentators are like filled with that much drama.
Right. Um, I kind of feel like a reason for that is because a lot of commentators they're weird. Like usually when I like talk about someone in like a negative-ish light kind of, I'm usually just
Hmm.
talking about their content, and even if I don't like specify that in a video, it's kind of, it's kind of obvious. But a lot of
Yeah.
these commentators, I think they kind of just get like too personal, and then they end up getting like dragged into this drama that ended up becoming personal, and then like you look back and it's like, how did this even unfold to like how it is today? Like it's odd.
Yeah, yeah, and I think the issue with a lot of commentators at the moment, specifically, is the fact that the content being bad or being good sort of gets overlooked, and it's more about, all right, let's look at some of the tweets and let's judge the character of the person
Yeah,
rather than judging if their stance on something's bad. Because realistically, if you judge someone based on their opinion, you can't really get involved in massive drama because you're judging like someone's opinion because everyone has a different opinion.
yeah,
So I
exactly.
think
Yeah,
what's really wrong with like a lot of commentators is the fact that they go after something personal rather than like take a stance on someone's content. Obviously, something that you recently did was take a stance on someone's content when you
right.
critique like the smaller commentators, and then obviously at the end you said about good commentators as well. So like you're very good at not being like fucking toxic as fuck and like
Right,
looking at the people
exactly.
themselves.
Yeah.
Where I guess a lot of people like Toad will upload like a 3 minute shit post where they just like call some like guy a slur.
Right, it's weird. Like when I make videos against people, like I usually don't make it personal unless like they did something like legitimately heinous. And I used to make that mistake a
Yeah.
lot. Like that's why I made so many videos on Max. I was just calling them out over like small things and whatnot. But nowadays I kind of
Hmm.
make sure to not do that, and I usually make sure to strictly talk about someone's content unless like they're genuinely like a bad person or something like that.
Yeah, 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 100%. And I guess Max is that unique case where obviously like there is a lot to be questioned about Max and his character. So
Right.
you sort of get away with doing that because I guess literally fucking everyone has in the
Yeah,
commentary like we
exactly.
previously spoke
But a
about.
lot of the stuff that I
Um,
was saying,
yeah,
it just was not valid at the time, and it still isn't
yeah.
a lot of the stuff. Yeah, but some of the stuff I did say at the time was valid and still is when it comes to his
Hmm.
content, yeah, and character.
Well, Well, speaking on drama and that sort of topic, a question that I ask everyone that comes on the podcast is if you could call out anyone, doesn't matter if they have one subscriber or 100 million subscribers, who would you call out and why?
That is a really good question.
Hmm.
Hmm, I'd have to really think about that. Uh, who is somebody that I really don't like in the community? I don't know. Huh.
This could be absolutely anyone. It doesn't have to be just commentary. It could
Yeah,
literally be a
right. You're
reaction
right.
or like
Yeah.
as long as like there's at least one person, because I'm assuming there is, like you've seen a dodgy person that you'd want to make a video on.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just trying to think about it. There is this
Hmm.
one guy named Beluga. I really hate his content. I hate his content so much. Like it fills me with a burning passion. I might make a video on him. The only reason I haven't is because I know a decent amount of people have already. So I'm kind of considering if I
Hmm.
should. But Beluga, I hate his
For,
content so
yeah.
much.
For people that don't know who that is, would you just go over some
Oh
of like
yeah.
the reasons that you think like his content's bad or whatever?
Right. Of course. So for those of you who aren't aware, Beluga is basically he's a what is he? He's like a Reddit text to speech channel, like really
Mhm.
unfunny, but instead of it being Reddit, it's like Discord, and he like stages like these Discord messages between. It's really dumb, and it's like so unfunny most of the time. It's really odd. It's like Coco Melon content, really.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
and is that like with you? Obviously, you see a lot of like content that's sort of aimed towards children. Like a lot of that text to speech stuff is also like aimed at like a younger audience, like 10
Yeah,
and below.
arguably, yeah.
Like for you, is that a thing like would you consider like ever making like multiple videos on like or going like on like a rampage of covering like family sort of style videos and content? Like do you care about that sort of stuff or is it just specifically that one person?
Yeah, I don't care about that stuff a lot. It's not something that I care about so much where I'm like I have to make a video and like convince
Yeah.
other people of my point of view or whatever. It's more or less just like a this is personally how I feel. Like I personally really dislike this channel. Basically, is
Mhm.
how it
Yeah.
goes with Beluga. Yeah.
And like of course like what I highlighted earlier about your content is the fact that you're not like afraid to like say like positive things and even like show people that do good things like good commentators or whatever, where
Right.
I guess a lot of commentators would shy away from that because it doesn't really pull in the views if you include that, like people click off, like no one wants to really hear about like someone like giving positive feedback, but obviously it works in your case, it works for your videos.
Yeah.
With like your connections in commentary, do you have a lot of friends in commentary, like people you talk to often? Like, because
Um,
it seems like you're the guy that you would, because you don't really cause drama, you're not in a lot of drama, you sort of feel like that neutral party in a lot of situations.
right, yeah. I'm trying to actually start to I'm starting to break into that because I actually don't VC a lot often really. This is probably if a lot of people do see this, this will probably be the first time like they hear me like casually speaking outside of like reading off of a script or something because a lot of my videos are scripted. But
Hmm.
yeah, I'm trying to break more into that, but in terms of like close friends in commentary, I wouldn't really say many besides Void, Trapdos, and to an extent Zenoshin. I know a lot of people don't know Trapdos. He's like a much smaller channel. He only has like 70 subs at the time, but he's a really cool guy.
Yeah, well, I've spoke to him for like the bingo video
Right.
that's thinking I think that's already out or it's coming out soon.
Yeah.
But I guess like I'm in that same boat with you where obviously I speak to a lot of commentators for the podcast. Like I have to, like that's the whole point of the podcast
Right.
is to speak to commentators. But obviously outside of this podcast, I don't really speak to many apart from a few of them. Like it just doesn't really happen. And is that something where you'd want to go further in the future, where you'd want to build up like a solid group of people that you can VC with now and again? You can like sort of spread ideas with, like if you want to, in a VC, like without feeling like you have to.
Right, totally. Yeah, I would want to do that, but I'm not. It would be cool to have, but I'm not sure it's necessarily something I'm pursuing. But it would be beneficial,
Hmm.
definitely, for both
Yeah.
parties, or all parties, rather.
Like, do you think that it's something that could happen naturally rather than you trying? Because obviously, like, you don't need that,
Right.
but like, I guess it would be nice if it happened,
Yeah, it could
if you
totally
get me.
happen naturally. It just, like I said, it just, I barely join like VC and stuff. I sometimes I have opportunities, but a lot of times I don't. But I should be able to make
Hmm.
more time for myself now. So really, I feel like if I just included myself more in like VCs and whatnot, I would be able to do that rather easily.
Oh yeah, 100%. And like, I think that's something that a lot of people want to do, like especially in commentary. Like, you need to make connections in commentary. I think that's like something that a lot of people sort of do on Twitter and stuff.
Right.
But a question that I want to ask you, of course, is obviously you've done commentary. You spoke a bit about why you've stuck to commentary. Like people want to see more of it. It's sort of like fun to do. Why did you originally start commentary? Like, what made you get into that sort of like sphere of content?
Well, um, how do I? Okay, so I've been in like I feel like a lot of people assume like I just like randomly like got into commentary, but like I grew up with Leafy. Like I've been watching Leafy since 2015 when I was in fifth grade. Like I've been watching and been keeping up with the commentary community for a decent like chunk of my life at this point actually. So when I was little, I
Hmm.
just kind of watched Leafy a lot and I was like I want to make videos like that too. So I basically just took my mom's broken laptop and I, along with making Roblox videos, I have like one of those old Roblox videos still up. I would also
Yeah.
make like really, really shitty commentary videos. I don't think any of them are
Hmm.
up anymore, but I did cover some of them in a video that I uploaded about a year ago titled something like watching my old videos or something like that. So yeah,
Hmm.
really it was just me being a kid and seeing like somebody being able to yeah, I looked up to Leafy as a kid basically. That's why I started. In
Yeah.
short, yeah.
Well, like a lot of people start from like I've had a lot of conversations with people recently about why they've started commentary, and it seems like the common factor is like usually like a common content creator or Leafy, for example.
Right.
Obviously like I don't know if you've seen this, but obviously there's a lot of people talking about like Leafy and like if his content was good and that debate going on. That it's been going on for a few months now. But what is your stance on Leafy? Obviously, now you do commentary, now you create content. Like, what is your stance on his older content and just his content in general?
Well, my opinion on Leafy has changed a lot. It is not static, and it may very well change again. But
Hmm.
obviously, when I first was into him, I liked him a lot. Then I
Yeah.
kind of, at first, then eventually it became like a nostalgic thing, and I still like them. Then it was kind of like, why did I ever like this guy at all? All of his videos are terrible, and he's done nothing good for the internet. And now my take is
Yeah.
nuanced, where it's like I can understand like the impact he had and how he actually influenced like a lot of people into content creation, which is a positive thing.
Hmm.
But I
Yeah.
wouldn't necessarily say like his videos still hold up. Like I actually made a tweet about it earlier. I forgot who I was replying to, but they were tweeting about like whether or not like you still like which YouTuber do you watch still? Do you watch Grey Day or Leafy or iDubbbz or Pyro? And I retweeted and I was like, the only one out of these guys that I still watch out of nostalgic purposes, sometimes is Pyro. Like Leafy, I'll only ever watch his
Yeah.
videos again just for nostalgia. I would not watch it because I actually like
Mhm.
am entertained or anything like that necessarily.
Yeah, I'm sort of on the same level with you in the fact that like I get like why and how Leafy is popular. Like I get that he's sort of gave commentary that boost, gave people inspiration to do things. Like, but at the end of the day, like if you look at his content now and the re-uploads of it, like it wasn't anything revolutionary, and
Really.
compared to now, it just doesn't hold out. Like doesn't hold up.
Yeah, definitely. Like it was literally
Like
just a guy like recording in his room talking about shit like he liked and didn't like. Like it was that simple. Really.
oh yeah, 100%.
No.
And I think that's like when you put it in perspective of like it's content that would take like 5 minutes to record on your phone, like compared to like some of the commentary videos you get now, it does put it into perspective. And what I do feel more strongly about than like my opinion on Leafy, is the people that sort of like really, really try and base their commentary persona about Leafy.
Oh yeah, that's really cringe. That's like LARPing really hard. That's like really cringe. I don't know why people still do
Yeah.
that. Like you can take inspiration from him. Like I take inspiration from Leafy somewhat because I can acknowledge that like I probably would not exist as a commentary channel without his influence. That's fact. But I don't have to like write his
Oh yeah.
meat. Like it's ridiculous. I don't get it really.
Yeah. Like you see a lot of people in commentary have like similar profile pictures that have like
Yeah.
got like unique bits added on, and like overall it's just like I get that like people love Leafy, but it doesn't mean you have to like create a channel that's just Leafy
Right. It's
2.0.
like how am I even supposed to take you seriously? It's like come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's like the common theme of like the episode, like especially today's episode, is like about commentary. I'd say like you see a lot of bad commentators. Like obviously we've highlighted a few like Toad, etc. And I think like something that I want to mention before we close off the episode is about like people saying that commentary is dead, because I think this is a great like just final topic to talk about.
Yeah.
But before I hear your opinion about this, because I'm really interested in it, uh, I personally believe that it isn't commentary like the genre of content making that's dead. It's more the small commentary community. So what's your view on like the statement of commentary's dead?
Well, at the moment, I think, and I have to answer this really quickly. I think I have to go in a moment, but
Yeah, no.
yeah, I think commentary is just currently like going through kind of like a transition stage. I don't think it's necessarily dead. It's just very slowly moving across like a transition. I think that's what I would say.
Oh yeah,
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 I
hundred
think
percent.
people are just trying to figure out like what they want to talk about and what exactly like the priority of like the community as a whole should be.
Mm-hmm.
Like once like people in
Yeah.
the community have somebody to follow, then I think that at that point people won't consider it really dead anymore.
Yeah, I think it's rather like the genre of content making is probably at the best it's been in a while.
Right.
Like videos are doing well. Like there's so many things you can do with it. But I think it's just like the amount of content creators and good ones at that are in the community at the moment, which isn't many.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So I think it's like hard for people to struggle. But like I appreciate you coming on the podcast. Like I said at the beginning, you're one of like the people that I wanted to get on for the longest time.
Right.
So I really appreciate you coming
Yeah,
on.
of course, no problem. Yeah, thank you for having me on though. Appreciate it. I like this talk too, by the way. This was fun. Yeah.
Yeah, no worries. And for everyone that's watching, like all of his links for stuff will be down below if you've been interested and intrigued in some of the stuff we've been talking about. But I've been your host, Samuel, and I will catch you in the next episode of Trash Talk.
Yeah.